champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
What's up, everybody? This is part 2, second video of the Trucker War Stories. I'm going to go back to not really a certain thing that happened, but maybe just a certain period of my trucking career, kind of like my last video was about my rookie days. I think my rookie days was longer than just what I told you about, but in the last video. But anyways, this is called the Colorspot days. D-A-Z-Y. There's a reason why I say that, because gosh, Vicky ran us so dadgum hard. I remember Vicky was our boss, right? I could just remember just running so stinking hard during the spring. It was like my very first spring driving a truck, period. You know, I was still just a greenhorn, you know. This was back in 2003 when I started. I just, you know, I started with Colorspot Nurseries, you know. And I started trucking in August or July of 2002, you know. Started school in 2002 or in July. On the road in August. But I can remember sitting here going around driving for Colorspot Nurseries. And if you don't know what Colorspot is, it's a they deliver plants to Home Depots and Lowe's. I've been doing Home Depots and Lowe's for a long time, for about 10 years now. But so doing this run for the very first time, I was, you know, I was so happy to be home a lot. You know, I guess I started in January. I was so happy to be home a lot. You know, I just left Warner and I wanted to be home, and dadgum Colorspot got me home when I, you know, for a lot more than what Warner did. But as you can imagine, during the spring, and we delivered flowers. We had other facilities that delivered shrubs, but we delivered flowers to Home Depots and Lowe's. So, you know, you kind of had to have training to do it. Not to drive, but you know, show you the paperwork, show you what to do at these stores, you know. So I had this guy named Jay Aker. He was a heavy smoker, and he had a mullet. And he smoked so much it really affected his voice. He talks like this. So just imagine we're sitting here driving down in the road in the truck, and my name's Jay Aker, and I'm Vicky's #1 truck driver. I drive a semi. This is the type of guy he was. He was just head over heels over himself. He was a good guy. I'm not bashing the dude, but he was just predictable what he was going to say. And man, he thought he was it, you know, and he probably was. But he was a comedian, you know. He was, even after he left, we had so much to talk about Jay Aker, because, you know, he was a character, you know. And man, well after he left, we were sitting there talking about him. But anyways, but I could remember, so we got paid by the hour. And just remember working, man, that second spring. That first spring I was still trying to get used to what I was doing. I would still get about 90 hours for the week. Yeah, there wasn't no way you could log that. Loose leaf paper logs, you know. super trucker. And we delivered all around the state of Texas pretty much. We did Oklahoma and Arkansas and just a little bit of Louisiana, northern, Shreveport, Monroe. But yeah, and it was a lot of work, lots of work, lots of fun if you think about it. But during the spring, it was just, gosh, it was so busy, and Jay Aker was it, and he would always call me. I had just gotten a cell phone, my first cell phone, and actually it was my second cell phone. But he would always call me up. Hey, what you doing? So I'm driving. Where'd you go today? I'd tell him where I'd go, and he'd tell me where to go, and he said, well, Vicky sends me here because I'm her #1 driver. Oh gosh, and so that was Jay Aker. But anyways, I only got 90 hours, but a week or so, maybe more. But as the season slowed down in the summer, I had a lot of time off and everything during the summer, and then in the fall and winter it'd pick up for pansies and poinsettias and stuff, and then it'd slow down again, get prepared for the next year. I just remember that next year, I think it was, or the year after, I can't remember. 04, 05. I left there in 06. And I just remember getting during some parts of the spring or poinsettia season that I'll be getting. I remember a couple times it'd be well over 100 hours. One week I had over like 120 hours. Oh my gosh, that was so bad. And yeah, I mean, you did it illegally, First of all, these trucks would get up and go. They weren't no bull haulers, but they weren't no daggum Schneider trucks. I mean, they get up there and run, and you would expect to run. I mean, I would get 2 hours of sleep here and there, if that. You get a load from Walnut Springs, Texas, which is where we pulled out of, and go up to Jonesboro, Arkansas. That load was 9 hours to get there, maybe a little bit over. And they never did have those trucks loaded until about 11 or 12 o'clock at night, and you were expected to be there about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. So you had no time, and this was after you're doing runs the previous day. You didn't have Vicky never did believe in a DOT break, which in those days were 8 hours. You could split up your breaks, but as much toying around as we could with our logbook, you couldn't make it legal. That's the reason why you had the loose leaf, you just tear out. I remember one time Vicky came in, and then she said, Ike, I need your logs from last month. And I was like, I ain't got any. She says, well, do what you need to do. So I take a blank log, just one sheet, draw a line 1, and I add up the hours, 31 days times 24. So there you go, log for 1 month. She goes, all right, thanks. Gosh, we were stupid. Get out there. Well, we made a lot of money during the spring, but during the summer or early winter, wasn't much money to it at all. Really made up for the running, but it was fun. We had several guys out there that really ran hard. As much as we make fun of Jay Aker because he dogs like this and everything, had a lot of drivers out there who were good to run with. We had an old guy out there. He was, about 80 years old. I learned a lot by him, not from him driving, but just his stories about driving. Old Jimmy Griggs. I'm sure he's probably, I don't know if he's passed on yet or not. I mean, that's been a while ago. He's probably still around. I don't know. Someone probably let me know. Then you had old David Jones. He's on my Facebook. He's like the only Colorspot driver on Facebook. And David, we'd always take those runs out there to El Paso and everything, and boy, we just run. We had fun. Found us good watering hole. We sit there and ate a hamburger. But we always used to run out there. A little story about me and David Jones. Before he got his Class A CDL, had a Class B, right? I think, no, he just had a regular Class C, but he was driving the straight trucks, which you didn't have to have a CDL for those particular ones. So anyways, it was one of those weeks in the spring, probably one of those weeks I got over 100 hours, 110, 120 hours. Called Vicky. I said, man, I need help. I said, I can't do this. I mean, I'm just physically just tired. I haven't slept in 3 or 4 days. I mean, all these back-to-back Houston runs, you know, and it's not like you could sit here and do them like you could do what we do them now. We unloaded our trucks and everything. We had to go, if we didn't have enough racks, we'd have to go drive around town, look for racks. By the time you got back to Walnut Springs, she'd go get more plants to deliver. No time to rest. I called Vicky. I said, hey, I gotta have some rest. I need some help. I mean, just team me up with somebody. Have a driver come ride with me. Either drive at night or drive during the day, where I could get some rest. I could sleep. Man, if I just get in that sleeper just once, I will be gone. Well, what does she do? She sends David Jones with me, and David Jones turned out to be an excellent, superb Class A CDL truck driver. Daggum steering wheel holder super trucker. But at that time, he didn't have a CDL. He couldn't drive a big truck legally at all. I don't even think he knew how. I mean, it didn't take long for him to learn, so I imagine he had some work with him. But I mean, he was just there for the ride. He was there to help me unload the stuff. And I was like, I called Vicky. I was like, this is not the type of help I needed. But anyways, he says, well, let's do this. And I think he insisted on me to just, hey, I'll unload it if you need to take a break, and I'll do it. And me and my mentality, I said, no, can't do that. I can't sleep while you're working. So we get out there, and these trailers have a lift gate on them, right? Where you just roll the plants out onto the platform. You lower them, you get down on the ground, you roll them off, and then you raise the platform back up, load, put more on. And when there's a 2-man operation, you have one up on the trailer and one on the ground, and it makes things go by a lot faster. So David was down there on the bottom, because he likes to be on the bottom, and I was up on top, and I like to be on the top. Some would think that we're goofy like that, kind of happy towards each other. Yeah. Anyways, so I'm sitting here pulling out these racks, and I guess we get about 3, 4, 5 loads off, racks off. You get in this pattern, the system going, and it's like a routine, And usually, when you lower the platform, the guy on the bottom's taking them off, and right after he takes them off, the guy on top, he moves the platform up. All you gotta do is raise a switch. Well, we lowered it and everything, and While he's taking them off, I'm pulling out the racks, right? And I'm ready to put them on the platform, but I forget to raise the platform up. And so as I'm pulling them out, I step back and there's no platform there. And I fall straight on my back. I mean, flat on my back. If I would have landed any other way, I'd have broken bones. But that's not it. The thing is, I'm sitting there, I'm laying on my back like this because I'm kind of stunned. I'm fixing to get real stunned because I'm sitting there looking at a rack full of plants. And these things weigh about 800, 900 pounds, 1,000 pounds. And they're on these metal, not aluminum. These were metal. I'm laying on my back and I'm sitting there seeing this thing fall. This thing's falling, fixing to come on my head. I'm sitting there looking at it, and then right at the last minute, David Jones, he pulls that daggum rack back, and it hits like right there, right next to me. I remember sitting there looking back. I saw his hand move it, and I was that close to being really screwed up. No sleep, if I would have rested, but I tell you, I'll always remember that. Because gosh, if it wasn't for David right there, he just screwed things up. Me and David, we ran a lot. He had and I had a lot of faith in him, and he went on to be a good driver. We teamed up a lot going doing the semi thing. Once he got a CDL, we teamed a lot going out to El Paso and stuff. Those were cool running days. And you got guys like Adrian Rico. Me and him were out there running northern Arkansas. And I'm going a little fast. It's 55 mile an hour on those 2-lane roads. I'm doing about 67. I get pulled over. Me and him both up front, right? He says, I need to see your logbooks, both of you. Give him logbook, driver's license, and he says, here he goes back to his car. I guess he's back there in his car for 10, 15 minutes doing the whole cop thing, right? Comes back and he calls me Adrian Rico and calls him Ike. Adrian Rico is a Hispanic fellow. He's a Mexican. Barely speak English. The English he could, speak, was limited but funny. We always got good laughs. We taught each other bad words. But, the cop, the old man, thought I was Adrian Rico. He had driver's license with photographs and everything. He sat there and told me that my name is Adrian Rico and I'm supposed to be in the sleeper. I'm like, no, my name is Ike. I'm the white guy. I'm supposed to be driving. So, well, they wrote him a warning for falsification, but it took me 5 minutes to tell him and explain to him that no, my name is not Adrian Rico. Only words I know in Spanish are chingo de madre, and from what I understand, those are bad words. And so there were good days, bad days. Gosh, there were a lot of bad days where I would have kept on working there, up and down. Colorspot days. Most of the time I was just until I remember my wife just sitting there saying, you need a shower. Then I didn't take one. I didn't take any showers hardly unless I had any time at home. I did. I remember just keeping my butt away from people as much as I could. Oh gosh, it was bad times, but it was fun. I look back on it, I learned a lot. I aged a lot as a driver because I learned those things not to do. That's for real. Alright, this is a 20-minute long video. But those are my Colorspot days. I worked there for about 3 years, over 3 years. And during that 3 years, I quit a couple of times, no doubt. Last time I quit for good. But who knows? I may end up at Colorspot one of these days. Nah. Anyways, hope y'all enjoyed that. Hopefully, y'all got a little something out of that. Maybe not. But hey, I enjoyed going back and looking back at it. So, anyways, until the next time, 73.